Have you ever given an interview answer based on a really impressive example at work? You know, you've got strong results, positive feedback, maybe even a reward, and still only received a 4 out of 7 if you're applying to a civil service role, or maybe even a 3 out of 5 in the private sector. Now, this is something I see regularly, and it's really frustrating when you're trying to apply for a senior level role. Now, the problem is that the candidate is often describing a strong achievement but not really demonstrating enough senior level leadership. Let me show you the difference. Imagine a manager working in a large public sector or private sector organisation, it doesn't matter. Performance in one regional team is declining. The manager has personally used a particular approach successfully, and so naturally they introduce it more widely. Now the team adopt the approach, performance improves, and the work receives senior recognition. This sounds great, doesn't it? It sounds like a really strong example to use in an interview. But the answer often follows the same kind of pattern. So I identified a problem, I knew what would improve it, I explained my successful approach to others, they adopted it, and results improved, and I received some kind of award or recognition. Now, this sounds great, but it does demonstrate initiative. We can't take that away. It demonstrates personal credibility, good delivery, and also a positive result. So why isn't it right? The reason is you're basically saying, I had the answer and I persuaded everyone else to follow it. What is missing is all the complexity of leadership which you're being assessed against. What the panel hasn't heard enough of is why the solution was difficult to implement, what pressures the team were already facing, whether people were resistant to the idea, how you as a manager understood different perspectives, how you adapted your approach, what you did when things didn't go perfectly, what you learned. Now, most candidates remove all that detail because for some reason we think it weakens the story, it makes it too long, we've been told not to dive down into the detail. And as a result of that, we actually get quite poor marks. A stronger G7 answer or a mid-level leadership answer might be, I identified a strategically important problem. I recognise that the apparent solution was not straightforward because of A, B, and C. I considered the pressures, risks, and likely resistance, go into some detail on that. I involved others in diagnosing the problem rather than assuming my experience and success gave me the full answer. This is really important. I adapted the implementation to meet different people's needs and circumstances. And when the initial improvement wasn't sustained, I wasn't just thinking about the short-term solution, I was thinking about the long-term solution, and I changed my approach. Maybe it required other areas to change to support the team. Maybe you had to maintain and motivate the team more than you thought. I learned in the process something really important about leading people under pressure. And I linked that learning directly to the role I'm applying for now. And this is really important for the role, and it means I can demonstrate A, B, and C. So the achievement itself hasn't changed. You as the candidate haven't invented a more impressive example. What has changed is the level of thinking that you have made visible to the interview panel. We can't assume that they're going to pick up on all the things that you're trying to demonstrate within that example. You need to be much more explicit. The stronger version demonstrates strategic awareness, judgment, empathy, influence, leadership through others, adaptability, reflection as a leader, an understanding of sustainable change. It just sounds much more credible because leadership is rarely, I had a good idea, everybody agreed and loved it and everything improved. Teams are busy, people have different concerns. They may be resistance, competing priorities or practical barriers. So what did you do about it as a leader? Sometimes the initial improvement is not sustainable. A mature leader doesn't hide this. They explain how they recognised what they learned, and how they adapted. I hope that's really helpful. So before using any leadership example, really ask yourself, what made this genuinely difficult? What did I have to think about? What resistance did I anticipate or encounter? How did I achieve the outcome through other people? Importantly, what didn't go perfectly? And what did I learn in the process? And how does this demonstrate the behaviour or competency that I'm being assessed on? The difference between getting a 4 in an interview and a 5 and a 6 is not always a better achievement. Very often, it's really about how you explain your judgment, your leadership, and what you learned. So don't just go into an interview telling the panel how you succeeded. Instead, show them how you thought and how you led. I hope you find this really helpful. Please do share it and like the video. And of course, if you would like some one-to-one coaching, then reach out on interviewskillsclay.co.uk, then you can book an initial consultation to discuss coaching. Speak to you later. Bye-bye.